Recording in progress. Good evening. Welcome to the City Council meeting for May 12th. Madam Clerk, will you please call roll?
Let the record reflect that all members are present.
Thank you. City Manager comments. Oh, I'm sorry. We have the invocation and flag salute. That will be Councilmember Suzuki. Councilmember Suzuki.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like us all to pause together in this moment before we begin. Tonight, as we gather in the spirit of public service, we do so during Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, a time to honor the contributions, the cultures, and the stories of communities who have helped build this nation and this city. I am proud to be among those we celebrate this month. I grew up in Hawaii, where I learned early that aloha is more than a greeting. Aloha is a way of living, a recognition that we are bound to one another, that we carry responsibility for each other's well-being, and that the measure of a community is found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. And so tonight, we ask for the spirit of aloha to guide this chamber. May we listen with open hearts. May we speak with honesty and care. May we set aside what divides us and work toward what unites us, the safety, health, and flourishing of our keiki, our children who are watching, who are counting on us, and who will inherit the decisions we make in rooms like this one. May every vote cast, every policy debated, and every voice heard tonight be an act of love for the community we serve. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Manager comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Each year, the Regional Task Force on the Homeless does what's called a point-in-time count to do a survey of the homeless in each city. And I'm happy to report that although we still have too many unsheltered, La Mesa's unsheltered count dropped from 52 to 39 people, a 25% drop over the last year. So kudos to our home team.
Thank you. Any reportable action from closed session?
No reportable action in closed session tonight.
Thank you. Community bulletin reports. Construction on the downtown district sign will continue over the next few weeks. Contractors will be on site this Wednesday and Thursday. While La Mesa Boulevard will remain open, parking will be restricted between Palm and Spring. Please slow down and use caution while driving through the area, and stay tuned for updates. Always please drive with caution everywhere in La Mesa, and all through California for that matter, and the United States, and in the world. Okay. Make a difference in the community. Consider joining a board or commission. Several positions are currently open. The application deadline is Monday, July 6th. Join the community to clean up the neighborhood around Jackson Park along Jackson Drive. The event is this Saturday, May 16th, starting at 9 a.m. Trash pickers and buckets will be provided. If you'd like to come, please join us. Join the City of La Mesa Youth Advisory Commission and San Diego County's SD Nights for free teen night at the La Mesa Community Center. This event is for teens aged 13 to 18, starting at 5 p.m. on Friday, May 15th. There will be a game truck, dodgeball, crafts, pizza. RSVP, please, on the city website. Mark your calendars for Bike Anywhere Day on Thursday, May 21st. Ride your bike to work and swing by our pit stop at the corner of Allison Avenue and University Avenue for giveaways. Sign up for the event for a chance to win a free bike. And I have one more announcement to make. We're looking for participants for the 27th Annual Flag Day Parade. Local businesses and community groups and performers are encouraged to join. The deadline to sign up is this Friday, May 15th. The parade, though, is Saturday, June 13th. La Mesa Boulevard this year. We're going to be honoring America's 250th anniversary. Save the date and please join us for that celebration, and please spread the word. Flag Day Parade will be one day before actual Flag Day, so please do that. Additions and or deletions by council or staff?
None from staff.
Thank you. Presentation, City Treasurer's Quarterly Report. Oh, sorry. Oh, community, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I'll start at the end. Thank you for reminding me. Councilmember Dillard, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of announcements. I don't know if constituents got this in the mail. Did anybody get this in the mail? Just one? It's a free pass. You got one too? It's a free pass. It's got a pronto stuck in it, and you can, a pronto, a card for a pronto pass downtown for free. Just try it out. The trolley station, the orange line that runs right in front of us, it travels straight downtown. You don't have to ever get off until you get downtown. So if you didn't get one, I have this one because I'm a board of director, and so I can gift this if not too many people ask me, because I only have one, but I'm happy to share. You'll take it. The other announcement is that starting on the 21st of May, or the 21st of May is called Bike Anywhere Day. And it's happening again on May the 21st, and it's sponsored by Sandag. Bike Anywhere Day 2026 pit stop map is now available to help participants plan their route, and the annual event on Thursday, May 21, from 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. The map includes more than 100 pit stop locations from Oceanside to El Cajon and Tijuana. It's a very successful event, and it has been a successful event for some time and building every year. So if you want to participate, you can definitely get your bike and try to make it from Oceanside to Tijuana if you want. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Lothian.
Okay, update on the Flag Day Parade. Thanks to the efforts of Vice Mayor Cazares, Amanda Lee, Lynn Dedman, and Leslie Rowe, and me, we have almost 100% participation on the red, white, and blue bunting. Downtown La Mesa is going to look like the 4th of July in Mayberry, so it's going to be really fun. Thank you.
Councilmember Suzuki.
On, this is a little early, but June 27th at 2 p.m., if you know of a senior or you are a senior who is concerned about AI safety and seniors, please mark that day on the calendar, June 27th at 2 p.m. at the Police Department Community Room. We'll be putting on a program with AARP and detectives to present how to protect yourself against AI scams. And we're especially, we're starting this series with our seniors because they've been a vulnerable population. That's it. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Casares.
I just want to briefly share that last week, I and the rest of the council were able to participate in multiple events for Peace Officer Memorial Month. As you all know, we lost Officer Lauren Craven last October, and we had some really beautiful events. So I just wanted to thank our police department for putting those on and including all of us in those. And thank you to everyone who, from the public, who came out to, especially La Mesa's, but the counties. It was really beautiful events. Thank you.
Thank you. Now our city treasurer, Mr. Strabone. Welcome.
It's not for me anyway. Good evening to staff, the mayor, the vice mayor, the council, everyone joining us here in chambers and watching at home. My name is Matt Strabone. I am the city treasurer of La Mesa, and what follows is my report for the quarter ending March 31st, 2026. Next slide, please. I will start, as I always do, with a quick recitation of the three principles that guide the investment policy here in La Mesa. They are, in order of importance, safety, liquidity, and earnings. Safety meaning that we only invest in assets where the principal of the invested money can be reasonably protected. Liquidity meaning that we have enough cash on hand to meet the liquid needs of the city at all times. And then once those first two principles have been met, I go out into the market and try to achieve the maximum earnings possible on our investments. Next slide, please. a busier quarter than we have had in quite some time. We purchased one CD, we purchased 6 government agency bonds. We had all of our remaining corporate bonds mature. We had $3 million in government agency bonds mature, and $3 million more were called. The total investment earnings for the quarter was just over $655,000. Before I'd gotten into office, that would be the all-time record, but it doesn't even sniff the record books, a victim of my own success. Next slide, please. Portfolio profile for the quarter. As you can see, the long-term outlook of the portfolio remains strong. Everything 2 to 3 years all the way up to 4 to 5 is over 4%, and even the 1 to 2 is in almost 3.5 range. It's really only the soon-to-be maturing assets that are dragging the rest of the portfolio down, and they will be off the books soon, so that is positive. Next slide, please. Pro forma earnings. This just means we take what happened in the last quarter and project out over 12 months. If we had a whole year like we had this past quarter, we would earn $2.5 million on our investments. Next slide, please. I'm required to tell you that our investment portfolio complies with the City of La Mesa's investment policies, as well as the relevant sections of the California Government Code that concern the safety and liquidity in the investment of public funds. Investment strategies are based on budgetary and liquidity considerations and interest rate projections and have been collaboratively determined by myself, the Director of Finance, and the City Manager. Next slide, please. Final thoughts. It continues to be a strange time in the municipal fixed income world. Unfortunately, my crystal ball is nothing more than a ball made of crystal. When I look into it, it doesn't show me anything. But that's okay because the portfolio is flexible and it has been designed to weather the uncertainty. I think one of 2 possibilities over the medium term are equally likely, but they are opposite. One is that rates go down because that is what the president wants, and the other is that rates will continue to climb because of the pressures on the bond market internationally, having to do with conflicts and also weakness in the bond markets of other countries. I don't really know what's going to happen. We'll see. But we have tried our best to capture the value that we can while we can. And we've done so, and we'll continue to try to do so, and hopefully we can ride this out. I think we will. And with that, I will take any questions you may have.
Any questions? Yes.
How many times have you broke your own record?
All 3 full years I've been in office, I've broken the annual record, proud to say, and the quarterly record I think we've broken 4 times.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Representative for receive proclamation for coffee month. Our second proclamation is for the American Legion Auxiliary, and we're honoring their auxiliary, the Unit 282. Whereas the American Legion Auxiliary La Mesa Unit 282 was formed and chartered on May 26, 1926, is proudly celebrating 100 years of dedicated service to the community. For a century, the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 282 has upheld its mission in the spirit of service, not self, demonstrating unwavering commitment and supporting and honoring the sacrifices of those who have served and have served the United States Armed Forces. The auxiliary has worked tirelessly to enhance the lives of veterans, active duty military members, and their families, both at home and abroad, providing compassion, advocacy, and meaningful support. Guided by the principles for God and country, the members of Unit 282 have consistently advocated for veterans, promoted patriotism, and strengthened the fabric of the community through education, mentorship, and service. And the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 282 has played a vital role in educating citizens, mentoring youth, and fostering a spirit of good citizenship, peace, and security for future generations. The 100th anniversary of the American Legion Auxiliary 282 represents a remarkable milestone and a testament to enduring dedication, volunteerism, and the impact of its members over the past century. The City of La Mesa recognizes and deeply appreciates the lasting contributions and steadfast service of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit, La Mesa Unit 282, for the community and the nation. Now, therefore, I, Mark Rapasathis, the 23rd Mayor of the City of La Mesa, and the entire City Council, do hereby commend the Mesa American Legion Auxiliary Unit 282. Round of applause, please, for them. I'm going to let you say it.
My name is Pam Green. I'm the president of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 282. I'm sure you all know where we're housed out of, building at the cannon in front. It's been an absolute honor for me to serve our military, our veterans, part of that 100 years. I hope that the legacy of that 100 years continues for another 100 years. Good thing. I also wanted to let you know that copies are made by veterans, disabled veterans. They're handmade, and it's part of their rehabilitation, whether it be physical rehabilitation or mental rehabilitation. Every dollar that we get for these works strictly on donation. They ask for money, ask for donation, those support our veterans program. And that tonight is so appreciated.
Please ask for representatives from Public Works standing up here. Anyone wearing a reflective vest? Sorry. Need glasses. I'll tell you when our next meeting is. All right. Whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainability and and communities, the public health, high quality of life, well-being of the people of La Mesa. These infrastructure facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government, and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. It is the public works interest for the citizens. It is in the public interest for the citizens, civil leaders, and the children in the city of La Mesa to gain knowledge of the maintaining of the ongoing interests and the understanding of the importance of public work programs in the respective communities. Whereas in 2026, it is marked by the theme, Rooting in Service, Powered by Community, the National Public Works Week, sponsored by American Public Works Association, Canada Public Works Association. Thanks. Therefore, I, Mark Rapastathis, the 23rd Mayor of the City of La Mesa, and the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th to May 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week in the City of La Mesa and urge all citizens to join us and with all the representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in the activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works employees. And just a personal note, two things. Number one, the Mesa Public Works was recipient of the San Diego, well, that's our city manager's writing, sorry. Of the Superintendent Association Equipment Rodeo Competition, which means they have a competition where they operate heavy machinery. I got to watch this last year, and we won that award. So that was good for them. Also, when we have students come to the City of La Mesa, I come up and because I was a teacher for 34 years, I come up and I talk to the third graders, and of course they know everything about PD, or they think they do, and about fire. But when I talk to them about Public Works, they're usually stunned to hear everything that Public Works does. Without Public Works, we don't have a city. Everything from striping streets, cutting back vegetation, to making sure that our sewers are working, which I'm sure everyone would find very vital in case anything bad happened to those utilities. And so all of those things are on the shoulders of Public Works. And so the next time you're driving around and you see a La Mesa person in a yellow vest, maybe beep and wave using all 5 fingers, of course. And so know that they're out making the city a better place. And I'm going to let our Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would first like to recognize my staff. We have about 50 public works professionals in the department. We handle, as the mayor said, all aspects of public infrastructure, maintenance, operations, design, construction, and replacement. With me is Mr. Eddie Flores, one of our equipment operators. He was part of the team that brought the equipment operator trophy back to Mesa, and we're very proud of him. This is my assistant director, Mr. Ornelas. He oversees all of the operations. I've got some staff in the room here who I greatly appreciate. So I definitely want to have a thank you to my staff who, if it wasn't for them, I would not be able to have the opportunity to lead such a great bunch of people. Secondly, I would like to thank you all support our mission. We do a lot of things that are extremely expensive, that sometimes makes people a little upset because we block the roads or we've made a mess. However, you do trust us with those expenditures. You believe in the mission that we perform, and you support us every day. So with that, one of the principal components of Public Works is safety, as you can tell by our glaringly bright vests here. We have something for the council so that when they come out and visit our sites, they too will be safe.
Next on the agenda is a proclamation for Older Americans Month. So it's appropriate that I'm reading this. Whereas the city of La Mesa includes a growing number of adults age 60 and older who enrich our community and economy through diverse life experiences. President Kennedy established Older Adults Month in 1963 to acknowledge the contributions of past and current older persons in our country. The 2026 Older Americans Month theme is Champion Your Heart. Sorry, I couldn't see very well because I'm older. Focusing on prevention, wellness, and personal responsibility as a cornerstone of healthy aging. AARP Network, age-friendly states and communities, with the support of the San Diego Foundation, acknowledged the city of La Mesa as an age-friendly city in 2018 with the establishment of Livable La Mesa. The Age-Friendly Institute recognizes the city of La Mesa as a certified age-friendly employer in 2025, making it the first in San Diego County to achieve this national designation, with La Mesa emphasizing retaining experienced staff and fostering a multi-generational workforce. The Adult Enrichment Center annually services over 7,500 adults aged 60 and older through recreation classes and drop-in programs each year. The city of La Mesa benefits when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds are included and encouraged to share their talents, success, and stories. Therefore, I, Mark Rapistathis, the 23rd Mayor of the City of La Mesa, and the entire City Council do hereby proclaim the month of May as Older Americans Month. I have one more proclamation. This is Bike Month. Whereas the bicycles are a healthy, convenient, environmental-friendly form of transportation and an excellent tool for recreation and enjoyment of La Mesa's neighborhoods. Creating a bicycle-friendly community has been shown to improve residents' health, well-being, and quality of life while reducing pollution and traffic congestion. The League of American Bicyclists established May as National Bike Month in 1956 and celebrated it in communities from coast to coast. Throughout the month of May, residents of La Mesa and visitors will experience the joys of bicycling through education programs, Bike Anywhere Day, and simply getting out and going for a ride. The San Diego Association of Governments, SANDAG, is coordinating the annual Bike Anywhere Day on May 21st, 2026. The City of La Mesa is hosting a pit stop on Bike Anywhere Day, May 21st, on the corner of University and Allison, and will provide new and experienced bicycle riders a chance to rest, pick up snacks, and get giveaways and receive encouragement. The City of La Mesa is committed to expand bicycle infrastructure in its climate action plan and has installed 61 miles of bicycle lanes. The City of La Mesa is committed to a Vision Zero goals, which aim to eliminate traffic fatalities and severe injuries among all roads and users and have safe and healthy, equitable mobility for all bicyclists, pedestrians, and motorists. Now, therefore, I, Mark Rapistathis, the 23rd Mayor of the City of La Mesa, and the entire City Council do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Bike Month. Okay, thank you. On to public comments. And our first is Grant Affleck, followed by Andrea Beth Damsky. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, and City staff. My name is Grant Affleck, and I serve as a crisis team volunteer with Trauma Intervention Programs of San Diego, commonly known as TIP. I'm here tonight on behalf of our entire organization to express our deepest gratitude for your unwavering support and your continued partnership with TIP here in the City of La Mesa. As a volunteer, I see firsthand what your support makes possible. When a tragedy occurs, TIP volunteers are dispatched by our first responders and are on scene within 30 minutes. We step into the critical first few hours of a traumatic event to provide the immediate emotional and practical support that individuals and families need when their world has been turned upside down. Because of your commitment to the TIP program, in 2025, TIP volunteers responded to 46 calls of service, specifically helping our neighbors right here in La Mesa. Across East County in 2025, we responded to 259 requests, serving nearly 900 of our fellow citizens. Crucially, our on-scene presence allowed over 2,000 first responders to return to their primary duties sooner, knowing that the families they left behind when called to higher priority calls were in compassionate hands. We don't just see this as a contract, we see it as a shared mission to care for our community during its darkest moments. Your leadership ensures that no one in La Mesa has to face a tragedy alone. On behalf of our volunteers and the citizens we serve, thank you for your continued trust in TIP and for your dedication to the well-being of our city.
Thank you for being here. Andrea Beth Damsky, followed by Zach Ordine. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Beth Damsky, and while you know me in various capacities, and I'm always happy to see you tonight, I'm here to speak to you as a concerned resident and neighbor. On the evening of September 8, 2025, 61-year-old Catherine Marie Peterson suffered fatal injuries when she was hit by a car at the corner of my street, the intersection of Baltimore Drive and Lake Park Way. The street light that was in the median where she was killed was destroyed in that accident and has not been replaced to this day. I spoke to you about this several months ago, asked for the street light to be replaced, for traffic calming measures to be implemented, and for crosswalks to be painted at this intersection. And to date, none of these things have been done. 4 traffic cones still sit in the hole where the light pole was. The dried up flower bouquets in their vases still sit on the narrow median strip next to those cones, an ugly eyesore, a constant reminder of tragedy. In these last 8 months, I've spoken about this individually with 3 of you. In recent weeks, I sent photos of the intersection to 1 of you. None of you have followed up with me. This section of Baltimore Drive has become a speedway. Drivers zoom downhill from the entrance of Lake Murray Park at Bertrow Drive, swerving around a blind corner, increasing the likelihood that a driver will not see a pedestrian in the intersection until it is too late. This is a busy walking community. Neighbors walk to Vons, to 7-Eleven, walk their dogs, walk their babies in strollers, till children walk and bike to the park. The intersection has been dark at night for 8 months now. Our friends who own the 7-Eleven are distressed that this death occurred in front of their store, and nothing has been done to prevent another one. Reading through La Mesa's neighborhood traffic management program, I was disappointed to see that no section of Baltimore Drive is rated eligible on the allowable traffic calming map. I see there is a procedure for residents to submit a traffic calming petition form requiring a certain number of signatures for consideration by the city, but you would think that a pedestrian death on the street would be enough of an eligibility determinant. California vehicle codes require drivers to yield the right of way to pedestrians and to travel only at safe speeds for darkness, pedestrian activity, and roadway design. Even if someone is crossing outside of a designated crosswalk, it is the driver's responsibility to avoid hitting that person. Still, it would be better if we had crosswalks and
30
mechanisms
seconds.
in place to cause drivers to slow down or stop. In these 8 months, nothing has been done. We still need a street light. We still need crosswalks. We still need drivers to slow down. La Mesa prides itself on being a walkable city, and I'm sad to remind you that some of you made safer streets a campaign promise for your city council elections. This campaign promise remains unfulfilled while walking in my neighborhood grows more dangerous with every passing day. Please do something.
Thank you. Zach Ordine, followed by Stacy Turner. Oh, Zach, followed by Stacy.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Welcome.
Welcome. I have some media. I didn't print out enough, so please share. Good evening, council. My name is Zach. My name is Zach Ordine, and I'm a resident of 4526 Palm Avenue. This is my first time speaking at this lectern, so please excuse me if I'm nervous. I've lived here for nearly 10 years, and I'm proud to call La Mesa my home. The growing speeding safety concerns on Palm Avenue are what finally brought me to this lectern. while watching construction on the new downtown archway project, which is looking great, I spoke to the city inspector who encouraged me to bring this issue directly to the council and the most effective way to help create change. I'm asking that Palm Avenue between Fresno and Spring Streets be considered for inclusion in the city's new speed mitigation program, which dense housing and Collier Park, with such dense housing in Collier Park, I feel this would make a great fit for your program. I've shared photos with the dais tonight, document nearly a decade of escalating speeding and dangerous driving along this corridor. I'm specifically requesting consideration for the temporary speed bump pilot measures, as well as part of that program. The final photo in my packet is the hardest for me to show. This is a picture of my late father's truck, totaled and towed away after being parked directly in front of my house on Palm Avenue. My father is no longer with us, and that vehicle has become a reminder of the unnecessary loss and danger we continue to see on these streets. To the side of the photo is locations of accidents where I think of the accidents and where I think proposed speed bumps would be beneficial. This is not about anger of property damage. This is about protecting the lives of and residents who love to say the city is our home. Please use the tools available through speed mitigation program, the traffic calming form, and maximum traffic enforcement to help ensure no other family has to look at a photo and wonder, what if? Thank you for their time. On a side note, the extended farmers market is really nice, and the Carly Park renovations are fantastic. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Stacey Turner. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. I asked to speak during the public comment time on e-bikes because I can't stay past the next 10 minutes. I did write a letter to all council members and the mayor. I don't know if you received it. I'm assuming that you did, and so I don't want to read it. I just have some notes. I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Stacey Turner. I've lived in La Mesa for about 10 years. I'm a retired teacher, bilingual K-8 with San Diego Unified School District. I'm also a cyclist. My opening statement in my letter was that I consider e-bikes to be dangerous because in comparison to a traditional bike, they have a much higher capacity for speed, which places cyclists in more danger because cycling inherently is dangerous. And I say that because I used to cycle. Sorry. I used to cycle from La Mesa towards the Kroc Center where I worked as a teacher. And I would take university, and I, as a cyclist, and also as a triathlete, I was a triathlete, I'm hyper-focused as I ride my bike on anything moving. The bike lane itself is between moving cars and parked cars. And so as an experienced cyclist and an adult, I recognize the danger in driving in bike lanes, and that cyclists have to be very prepared for anything to happen at any time. And on a traditional bike, it's pretty dangerous, but when you add in the element of speed, it's harder, I think, especially for young people that aren't experienced and don't know the rules of the road or don't have traffic experience. I think it's harder for them to make quick decisions to avoid danger. So I think that because I have less knowledge with and experience with traffic and road situations, I feel like they actually, to ride an e-bike, I think anybody riding an e-bike should be a licensed driver, because I consider e-bikes not to be bicycles. I consider them to be motorized vehicles. E-bikes have a motor. They travel at speeds faster than a traditional bike. And because I consider them to be motorized vehicles, I feel like anybody riding an e-bike should have a license so that they are prepared to know the
30
rules of the
seconds.
road and that they can recognize danger based on their experience. Anyone, let's see. And then also I think that not making a move to protect children from danger because of e-bikes is a form of negligence at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment. Conflict disclosures by council, are there any? All right. Public comment, consent calendar items. We have Let's see. Item 10.3, Bonnie Baranoff. Hi, welcome.
I have some handouts of just about numbers, so city manager kind of got me on this one. He jumped ahead, but anyway. Good evening, Mayor Rapastathis, council members and staff. I want to thank the La Mesa Police Department and the home team for their tireless, often thankless efforts to help the downtrodden, down on their luck, resigned, ignored, and discarded people who live in or visit our city. I congratulate them on serving nearly 2,000 clients since August 2020 and on housing 380 of them. Thank you for providing a responsive, successful program that demonstrates that La Mesa is indeed the jewel of the hills. The Regional Task Force on Homelessness recently released the 2026 annual point-in-time count results, and La Mesa's numbers are down 25% year over year, which is great news. But while we can't identify or count everyone experiencing homelessness, these results prove that persistent outreach and progressive engagement are effective. The Q1 Home Program Report, which was in your packet, features two excellent success stories that I encourage everyone to read, everyone in this room and at home. These are real people who were living in their cars, not by choice, but because that was all they had until the home team worked alongside with them. The annual point-in-time count isn't perfect for many reasons, but it's required by HUD. Many people know that the actual numbers are far higher. Our eyes don't lie. And I contacted our community schools counselor for La Mesa Spring Valley Schools this afternoon, and these are numbers that are not included in the point-in-time count. In La Mesa Spring Valley School District, there are 520 unhoused kids. And so if there's that many kids, there's families involved too. In La Mesa schools alone, there's 227. Our average over the last 10 years was about 460, so it's going up, right? So these numbers are not included in RTFH numbers, but we know the numbers are far higher. I'd ask you, don't believe the naysayers who claim programs like La Mesa's Home Team increase homelessness in our city, because they don't. Our unhoused and at risk of becoming unhoused neighbors are already here. Thank you.
Thank you. And because this is consent calendar, I'm just going to add to what Ms. Baranoff said is for La Mesa Spring Valley, the schools designate someone homeless not if they're on the street, but if they're don't have their own residence. So 99.99% of those in that number for La Mesa Spring Valley are people that are living with a relative, grandmother, couch surfing, that type of thing. So, but that's how the district designated it, because you don't have your own residence, so you're considered without a home. Thank you. So we're on item 10.3. Does anyone want to pull any of the 4 items? Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve consent calendar.
Please place your votes. Motion carries with all members voting yes.
Item number 11 is a staff report, consideration of approval of artwork selections for the Artist to Work Public Art Program. I'll hand this over to Ms. Lee. Thank you.
I knew it was me, but I still was not prepared.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't have my mic. I apologize.
Right.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight's presentation provides an overview of the recommended artwork selections for the Artist to Work Public Art Program. The presentation will begin with a brief overview of the program and selection process, followed by a review of each artwork category. Following each category, staff requests City Council discussion and action before proceeding to the next category. On February 27, 2024, the City Council approved the Artist to Work Public Art Program and allocated $250,000 in American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, funding to fund the program. The purpose of the program is to expand public art opportunities throughout the city, support local artists, and create visual enhancements within public spaces. The program includes 4 project categories: crosswalk art, murals, utility art wraps, and pole-mounted sculptures. In December 2025, the city issued a request for qualifications, or RFQ, seeking artist qualifications for all 4 project categories. The city received a strong response from the regional artists with a total of 47 submissions received across all categories. That included 9 crosswalk art submissions, 5 mural submissions, 24 utility wrap submissions, and 9 pole-mounted sculptures. The Arts and Cultures Commission, together with the Council Arts Subcommittee, reviewed all eligible submissions during meetings held on March 18th and April 15th. To help organize tonight's discussion, staff recommends that the City Council review and vote on each category individually before moving to the next category. Our first category is crosswalk art. This category includes creative digital designs that will be applied to crosswalks using thermoplastic material. The goal of the artwork is to enhance visibility and beautify intersections. Proposed installation locations include Parks Avenue and Normal Avenue, as well as Rolando Elementary School area at the cross-section of Tower Street and Tory Lane. These locations were selected because they are near schools and within areas that recently received slurry seal treatment, which supports both pavement longevity and installation. Staff is currently coordinating with a thermoplastic installer regarding installation, feasibility, and construction requirements. As part of that process, any selected design may require minor modifications to ensure proper installation, safety, durability, and compliance with applicable roadway standards. In addition, final installation costs are still being evaluated and collected. Depending on final pricing and installation requirements, the number and/or scope of installation may need to be adjusted. The first recommended crosswalk design is by artist Shannon Fulton. Per the artist, this concept captures communal interaction through peace birds in circular flight to represent the connection, exchanges, and flow that make La Mesa a thriving community. It's a visual celebration of the city that builds relationship, powers up, and fosters life. The second recommended design is titled Space Race Game by Nicholas Danger. The concept was reviewed favorably due to its playful interactive elements, particularly near school-adjacent locations. The third design is titled Super Bloom by artist Anna Pearson. Set against asphalt, the design introduces a burst of organic color and symbolizes renewal, resilience, and coexistence of city and nature. At this time, staff will pause to allow for council questions and discussion. Following the discussion, staff requests that the City Council select 2 crosswalk designs for installation.
Yes, questions?
Yeah,
Councilmember Dillard?
Thank you. I just had a question. I know we talked about this before, but I want to make sure I'm clear because some of these have like the orange line around it and the yellow line around it. Nicholas Dangers doesn't have that. So is the yellow line going to be outside of the orange or the yellow? Is that the way that is going to work, or are they going to change the color of the outside of these lines?
That's part of road safety, so because it's going near schools, the outside would actually be in the yellow. So the one identified in front of us, it has the black, but it would actually be yellow to match road standards.
Okay, and then the rest of them would be outside of those existing lines, or?
I believe the artists in option 1 and this option identified that it would be near schools, so they just placed the yellow lines. So I believe the artwork is in the middle, and those yellow lines are there for placement to say that it's in a school zone, and that would be the outer, just boundaries.
Okay, I just wanted to visualize. I'm a visual, so I just wanted to make sure I understood how that was going to look. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilmember Lothian.
Thank you for that, Amanda. This was a huge, long process. I want to thank the Arts and Culture Commission. I want to thank my co-chair, Councilmember Patricia Dillard. Round and round and round. It was intense. And so I have a criteria for public art. This is public taxpayer money. So for me, these are my objectives. To beautify the surroundings, should not make people uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be bland or generic, but it shouldn't be extreme or weird either. Target as broad of an audience as possible, connected to the community, and I really want to avoid a backlash. I know that there was a tendency to get really deep in the weeds of artistry and artistic and making a message and all that, but you can do that and create a backlash in the community, which I've seen all over. And so I didn't. So that's my criteria. Is it pretty? Is it beautiful? Will it be popular? And based on that, my two favorite are the Anna Pearson flowers and the Shannon Fulton doves. So that's my opinion on the.
Do we have ballots that you'd like us to fill out? Or are we just going to have an open discussion?
And I can create one really quickly.
No,
but
that's
open
fine.
discussion was.
I appreciate, I thank you for that criteria. At the end, art is subjective, I found out, as an artist myself and being in art for my entire career, starting in art school. Many times, whatever our criteria is, I mean, I appreciate that because I agree with your criteria, but our criteria doesn't match up with because anybody can dislike or like anything. So I appreciate that criteria, though. So I don't know how we want to do this, council. Do you want to take, I think can I ask a favor? Can we take one at a time? Because if someone likes one of the ones that you mentioned and they don't, and they vote against it, maybe they're not voting against. Does that make sense? So can you pick one of those that you, okay, then I will second the doves. Do we want to take a vote on it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I second the doves, so we just need a majority. Do you want to do a roll call vote? Or,
A roll call would be perfect.
okay.
Councilmember Dillard, how do you vote?
No.
On all designs?
On the doves?
Okay,
So
my
it's on
apologies.
the Fulton art?
All right, on the first option, my apologies. Councilmember Lothian, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Suzuki, how do you vote?
So hard. I'm sorry. I like all of them, but I'm going to say yes.
Vice Mayor Cazares, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mayor Arpasathis, how do you vote?
Yes.
We'll move to option 2.
Well, can I just jump and just say I'd like to make a motion to approve the Pearson, the flowers.
Second.
A roll call again, please.
Councilmember Dillard, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Lothian, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Suzuki, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cazares, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mayor Apasathis, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Thank you, and thank you to the artists, and thank you to Councilmember Lothian and Councilmember Dillard for being the subcommittee for the Arts Commission. And I appreciate having a criteria. That is a good thing to start with that because we always can fall back on that. So thank you. Next.
I promise it gets easier as we go along. The next category is mural installation at the MacArthur Park Municipal Pool Enclosure. Artists were invited to submit concepts specifically designed for the site with evaluation focused on artistic quality, feasibility, and compatibility with the surrounding environment. The first mural recommendation is by artist Nicholas Danger. The commission felt the design strongly complemented the recreational setting and provided a vibrant visual presence. The second mural recommendation is by artist Anna Pearson. This option was selected as it aligns well with the surrounding environment and community character. At this time, staff will again pause to allow for council questions and discussions. Following the discussion, staff requests the council select one mural for installation. So for the same, we have option 1 and then option 2.
You know what I like?
I'll just say that when we had this discussion, Laura Lothian and I, we agreed on Ann Pearson. So I don't know if you still feel that way, but I think that this one is perfect for La Mesa.
Is that your motion?
So that's a motion.
I like it too because it has It has the palm trees, it has our lemon orchard, because that's what we had, and it has the sign that's coming in, and it has the poppies, and
Got the
so,
rolling hills.
Can I just make a comment? I just want to make a comment. I'm sorry. I'm not an artist, and I don't have, I love Anna Pearson. I love it, but I love Nicholas Danger too. And the reason why I love it is because it's bright, it's vibrant, and that was my problem with the past, the crosswalk. It's a different, I think it's a different feel, but I just really love it too, because I think my kids would love that one. Like, I feel like as we grow, Anna Pearson appeals to us because it's, it's very sophisticated, but the kids that go to their swim lessons and everything, they'd love to see the sun over there coming out of that pool. So I agree that I'm voting for the Anna Pearson, but I just want to say that Nicholas Danger has done a great, fun job, and I appreciate that too.
We'll now take a roll call vote.
yes, please.
Councilmember Dillard, how do you vote?
Oh, we're not pushing the button on a,
No, just you say yes or no. Oh, I guess we can,
it's sitting in front of us.
I did
so,
pull it up. You may go ahead and vote on
Okay.
your iPad.
I made mine go away.
like, double yes. There you go.
And Vice Mayor Cazares?
Yes, I don't know how to bring it back. Sorry.
Oh, are you voting yes or no?
Yes.
All right, motion carries with all members voting yes.
next.
So the next category is utility art wraps. This program utilizes digitally designed artwork applied to utility boxes using durable vinyl wraps professionally installed throughout the city. The goal of this category is to refresh aging infrastructure, reduce visual blight, and expand artwork into neighborhoods citywide. The Arts and Cultures Commission is recommending 20 designs for installation. The recommended designs are included in this presentation, and I will now review each slide to provide a visual overview. So the ones that you're going to see before you have all been recommended, so just go through. And these were all included in your packet as well. So at this time, staff will pause, and I can go back through any slide as well for any questions or discussions. And
We need 20, and there are 20.
there's 20, so staff requests that you approve all 20 utility wraps.
I'll make a motion to approve all
I'll
20.
second.
Just say while we're waiting to vote, so started this program in 2002 with then Director of then Community Services, now Park and Rec, Yvonne Garrett. We had to have artists go out, and we had to put an umbrella up, and we had to buy the paint, we had to scrape each box, and so wraps so much better. And so I even helped paint one of the boxes, and every time I drive by and I see that it's but it's also getting weathered.
Yeah.
I'm happy that this is happening, because this is going to be, not only is it going to bring the color back, but it's also going to be able to be switched, in 20 years or whatever. Sorry.
I just wanted to share one comment. I wanted to shout out Becca Dwyer. They're all beautiful, and I'm so glad we get to do all of them. But the lower right one features our city flower, which I did not see in a lot of the artwork. Bougainvillea. Yeah. And I think that was a really good idea and very beautiful. So I just wanted
And
to
the
point
one
that
above
out.
has.
And this one does too, yes.
But no, the one above had our, that's our tree. Our tree is the
Plum
plum
trees.
tree.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead. We keep interrupting you.
Yeah. And this, yeah, who is this one?
Wait, can you just let her just do?
Yeah, sorry.
To the vote.
Motion carries with all members voting yes.
There we go, all right.
Yeah, and Belen Isla is the other one that has the bougainvillea, and I just love that.
Very nice.
So I'm just going to get back. Okay, so this one is similar to the utility wraps. The final category is pole-mounted sculptures. These installations are intended to provide three-dimensional artwork within highly visible public spaces throughout the city. The sculptures will be displayed from October 2026 through September 2028. For this category, the city provides the mounting infrastructure, including a steel pole, a concrete planter base. Site selection is currently underway and will prioritize visibility, safety, and equitable distribution throughout the city's maintenance zones. The Arts and Culture Commission is recommending 8 sculpture designs for installation. The recommended designs are included in this presentation, and I'm scrolling through each for your visual review, and these were also actually maquettes are included back.
Question, will the city also provide electricity for those sculptures that have a lighting element?
Those are solar, and they have the solar panels in there, and
Love
we've
it.
already
Great.
received the
Then
specs of
I'll make a
those.
motion to approve all 8. Oh,
Amanda, can we put these sculptures at the library or somewhere where people can see them in person? Because they're small and mobile, the samples.
We can work on having them where people, the maquettes, where they can be visually presented to the public, yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve all 8.
You may now place your vote. Motion carries with all members voting yes.
Okay, and then all approved artwork is anticipated to be installed prior to October 2026, and that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. Item 12.1 is second ordinance reading. I'll hand it to the, since it's a second reading, don't have a staff report.
I'm just going to give the second reading.
Copy that.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of La Mesa amending Section 6.11.200 M3 of the La Mesa Municipal Code to clarify the intent and authority for cannabis dispensaries to use the phrase dispensary in signage content.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance.
Second.
Motion carries with all members voting yes.
And just to clarify again, item 12.2 is a second reading, and normally we don't have a staff report, and since on the first reading we were unanimous, we're going to go through without the staff report. So we'll start with discussion among the council members, and then I will go to public comment. So anyone that would like to start. All right, Councilmember Lothian.
Okay, so 1 month ago, it was a unanimous vote. And excuse the pun, but in that last month, I've done a crash course on e-bikes. And I've discovered so much, especially after hearing from families. And so the problem is, and what people have been coming up to me, so I'm assuming to my colleagues on the city council, is we've all been seeing teenagers riding recklessly on our streets. And, you know, sometimes there's 1 or 2, sometimes there's 10 or 11 of them. And I hear people saying, gosh, guys, do something, regulate this. This is crazy. They're dangerous. They're doing wheelies. They're speeding. They're weaving in and out of traffic. So when this came on the dais a month ago, it's like, yeah, let's do it without really delving deeply into it. And so what I've discovered, and, you know, I've been all over AI and all this other stuff. So the highest risk group for e-bikes is adults 60 and older, followed by middle-aged adults 40 to 60, and then young adults 15 to 25. Under 12 was not mentioned. I also asked how many e-bike accidents have been in San Diego County with kids under 12, and I got out of 136 at-fault e-bike collisions analyzed in one San Diego report, there were 9 crashes, which works out to 6.6%. So I know what we're trying to do is, you know, on one hand we say protect the kids, but I know that what's really going on is there's a danger on our streets. And so I believe that the proper way to protect kids and reduce danger on the street is actually to enforce already existing laws and rules. It's already against the law to ride your bike dangerously and do those wheelies. It's actually a violation of California Vehicle Code 23103. It's reckless driving. And so I spoke to the chief, and he gave me some wonderful statistics. The city has only issued 3 reckless riding e-bike citations. If you wanted to, you could do that daily. The ages of the citation recipients were 14, 14, and 18. La Mesa has had 2 e-bike accidents. One was the victim was 41, and the other one was 14. What I've been hearing from families, and not just the letters and the people that have spoken here, but, you know, at the farmer's market on Friday, and they're just like, it's the kids that are 8, 9, 10, and 11 their parents are adjusting their e-bikes to 6 miles an hour, 7 to 8 miles an hour. They come down to the restaurants for breakfast or appetizers or farmers market, and I feel that if we pass this pilot program tonight, everyone's going to think we've done something when we really haven't. And then what happens is that 2 days from now, you're going to still see the same wheelies and go, what happened? No teeth? Not realizing that the people that have been blocked by this are the kids and the families. And if this is enacted, I can't picture the LMPD looking at kids trying to guess their age and going up to them. I don't think it's enforceable, but what it will do is parents are law abiding and they don't want to show their kids, hey, you know what? This is a winky law. We're still going to ride our bikes. I know they're not going to feel good about that. So what'll happen is the parents and kids simply won't ride their bikes anymore. And as the families have said here, parking has become a crisis level downtown, and this is where those e-bikes are going. I cannot believe I'm defending bikes because I've been against these bike lanes forever. And sure enough, they're starting to be used. And I feel like we need to let parents make decisions for their children. And in fact, you can pedal a regular bike without a motor, and those go 8 to 15 miles an hour. So again, the problem is the teenagers, and it's not the 8, 9, and 10-year-olds with their parents.
Anyone else? Yes, Councilmember Dillard.
I wasn't at the last meeting. I was on vacation. And I did listen to the meeting and the comments. And I want to say thank you to all the parents and people that had comments, pro and con. But one thing that I noticed in the meeting was that people were meshing bikes and e-bikes together. E-bikes are not the same as traditional bicycles. They are a new form of transportation that combines the accessibility of a bicycle with the speed and power of a motorized vehicle. Because of that, they should be treated differently under the law. Now, we have little to no ordinance or policy addressing e-bikes, especially when it comes to young children. Putting safety measures in place is not about taking away freedom. It is about recognizing the reasonability that comes with a new type of transportation. As a parent of 3 children and now a grandparent of 3 grandchildren, I can empathize with parents because I understand the judgment and decision-making capabilities of children 12 years old and under. Children are still developing awareness, impulse control, and the ability to react to dangerous situations. We should not expect them to handle the risks associated with high-speed e-bikes the same way we expect adults to. We already have laws that recognize age and maturity matter. We regulate when a child can receive a driver's license, purchase tobacco, vote, buy alcohol, and participate in other activities that require responsibility and judgment. Why would we not create reasonable safety laws for a new form of transportation that can travel at significant speeds and interact with vehicle traffic? This is the right time to put measures in place before more preventable injuries occur. Responsible safety policies do not mean we are against e-bikes. In fact, thoughtful regulation can help ensure e-bikes remain a safe and trusted transportation option for families and communities moving forward. I do want to cite that there was just recently in March down in New Orleans an event for electronic bikes having a surge in popularity in the United States in recent years. As e-bike use has increased, so have associated accidents and injuries, particularly among children and teenagers. A new study presented at the 2026 annual meeting of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, e-bike orthopedic injuries amongst pedestrians and adult patients at a level 1 trauma center found that youth are experiencing a growth number of severe orthopedic injuries related to e-bike usage, highlighting the need for community-based e-bike safety strategies. So this article, which I'm happy to share, anybody that wants to email me, I'm happy to pass this article on. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It was put on by Rady Hospital. There's also a doctor that wrote in to us regarding what she sees every day. And the number has increased in e-bikes. And it's because it has the motorized system that allows people to go faster on it. And faster can lead to disaster. And all we're asking for is to, and I have to, commend Councilmember Suzuki for bringing this. We're not the only city that's doing this. And given that I have children and grandchildren and I think about them, I don't really want them to ride along city traffic. I don't. But we have to start somewhere because there's nothing going on right now. And I don't want to say bicycles because we're not talking about bicycles. We're talking about e-bikes, which are motorized. So for that reason, I don't support not bringing this to fruition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah, oh, it is, I'm sorry. Okay, I couldn't see. Go ahead, yes. Councilmember Suzuki.
Thank you, Mayor and fellow council members. Tonight, I speak in strong support of this ordinance restricting e-bike operation by children under the age of 12. This is not a radical proposal. It's a measured, evidence-based, and legally sound step that our community and our children urgently need. Let me be direct about what's happening right now in San Diego County. According to Rady Children's Hospital, in 2021, there were 3 trauma activations, meaning a child arrived with injuries serious enough to require an entire emergency team related to e-bike accidents. By the end of 2025, that number had risen to 262. And Dr. Justin Ashon, and I'm sorry if I murdered his name, he treats these children. He noted that if you count all patients presenting with varying severity of e-bike injuries, that number exceeds 1,000 patients in 2025 alone. Countywide, the trauma center system reported 294 e-bike injuries in 2024, a 54% increase from the prior year. In Carlsbad, there were 9 crashes involving riders under the age of 12, 3 of which required hospital transport. Bicycles and e-bikes have been involved in accidents that have increased by 233% since 2019 across participating cities. These are not abstract statistics, these are our children. In 2024, Governor Gavin Newsom signed AB 2234, authored by Assemblymember Tasha Burner. That law specifically created a pilot program running through 2029, authorizing cities like La Mesa in San Diego County to prohibit children under 12 from riding Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes, which can reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. This is not a question of whether we have the authority. We do. The question is whether we have the will to use it. Cities like Coronado, Chula Vista, Poway, San Marcos, Carlsbad, and Santee have already adopted these restrictions, and we should join them. Some may ask, is it appropriate for government to restrict what age a child may operate a vehicle? The answer under California law is a resounding yes, and it's been this way for decades. Consider the following California restrictions based on age and developmental readiness. Driving a car, a minimum age of 16 for a provisional license. Operating a Class E bike, which reaches 28 miles per hour, minimum age 16 statewide. Riding a motorcycle, minimum age 16. Operating a motorized scooter or moped, minimum age 16. Purchasing tobacco or vaping products, minimum age 21, that's federal law. Helmet requirements, mandatory for all riders under 18, regardless of e-bike class. The law has long recognized that children's physical development, reaction time, and judgment differ from adults. E-bikes, which can outsize and outpace many young riders, are no different. A Class 2 e-bike can reach 20 miles per hour with the push of a throttle, requiring no pedaling and no effort. Many models are larger than the children riding them. This is not a bicycle. It is a motorized vehicle. Let's talk about what the injuries look like. The injuries our local doctors are treating are not scraped knees. Rady Children's Hospital has documented everything from broken bones to head injuries and facial fractures. San Diego Police Department has just reported children as young as 11 sustaining pelvic fractures, broken femurs, and life-changing brain bleeds from high-speed electric vehicle crashes. Dr. Delgado, Public Information Officer for Rady Children's Hospital, put it plainly. We want parents to know they could potentially be dangerous. We have an obligation to listen. This is not a ban on e-bikes. It is a common sense safety measure. I want to be clear, this ordinance does not ban e-bikes. It does not prevent families from enjoying them together. It simply establishes what California law has long recognized, that some vehicles require a minimum level of physical size, cognitive development, and judgment that children under 12 have not yet reliably reached. For children under 12 who want to use bikes, traditional bicycles remain fully available. Safety education programs are available. And when these kids turn 12, they may ride Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes, just as state law already permits under AB 2234 pilot framework. The data is clear, the legal authority is clear, and the moral imperative is clear. More than 1,000 children treated at Rady Children's last year alone. Trauma activations up from 3 to 262 in 4 years. A 54% spike in county e-bike injuries in a single year. Our neighboring cities have acted, and it's time for us to act as well. I urge my colleagues to support this ordinance. Our children are counting on us to make the right decision and to be courageous tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to be pretty brief. I think most people know that I'm a pretty casual person, so I'm going to be pretty casual about this. There are some things all of us feel more passionate about, and some things that we feel less passionate about. And there are some things we're experts in and some things we're not experts in. And I think as elected officials, it's really important that we can admit when we're not experts in something, and when it's not something that we're super passionate about. And so that's what I'm going to start with. I think it's really important that I admit that this is like not something that I had ever really thought about before it was brought to council. And now I've been thinking about it a lot over the past few weeks. I think it's really important that we also listen to members of the public, and I think we are doing that. And I have heard a whole mix of things from members of the public, more and more and more. And so, before, I would like to hear our public comments tonight before I kind of share where I'm at, because I do want to I want to hear those before I kind of like fully make a decision. I do kind of have an inclination of where I'm going to go this evening. But what I want to use this time to do is to really encourage members of the public to get involved really early on, because once we pass an ordinance, like during a first reading, we can't make any tangible edits to it. We can completely, we can vote it down, and then we can bring back a new one. But also, with an ordinance like this, as Councilmember Suzuki shared, we are very limited by state law because it's vehicle code. And so before I pass it off to the mayor and then for public comment, then I'll make more comments after public comment, I just want to encourage folks, if you are not signed up to receive our agendas, to please do so, because I know I would have really thought about this more and started talking to folks more about it had I thought there was any controversy or concern around it, because in many other cities it's passed without any. So I just want to thank everyone who has been getting involved, and also note that the sooner you get involved, the easier it makes our jobs, because our job is to represent you all, not to just share our own personal opinions on things, especially when it's something like this that I'm not an expert in and don't feel extremely passionate about. So that's all.
All right, I'm going to go to public comment.
I have a question for Glenn.
Yes.
Okay. Glenn, I know that this is a second reading, so take it or leave it. Either a yes vote on it or a no. If it was a no vote, could the city of La Mesa, do we have the authority to say we're going to write our own e-bike ordinance and perhaps do something along the lines of, if you're under 12, you can ride your e-bikes with parental supervision? So we'd have our own e-bike ordinance, and now we would do that instead of, so not adopt this one and make up our own. Can we do that?
No.
Okay.
Vehicle code, that unfortunately, because it's for the entire state of California. When we've tried to create vehicle code, let's say for not having people in the medians because it's dangerous, I went to Sacramento in 2011. We had to change the vehicle code for the entire state of California, and so that didn't go through. So because we can't pass it because it's under vehicle code, I understand where you're going with it, and I think that's a good idea, but because it's vehicle code, we can't. And so it's going to become law, obviously, after the pilot program's over too, so.
Mr. Mayor, it's
Yes.
probably fair just to give a quick explanation. The vehicle code occupies the field of regulation of motorized vehicles. It says so expressly in the preamble to the code. And that's why this enabling legislation came forward from the state to say, okay, despite what's in the vehicle code, we are gonna dictate now when banning can actually occur with respect to age in e-bikes, and that's what they've done. So you can do it, but you're going to do it our way or not.
So they're classifying now e-bikes as motorized vehicles. Jerry Jones, followed by Joseph Cryer. Welcome.
Good evening, folks. I'm going to read a lot more than I normally do. I want to make sure I cover a lot of this and I stick to the actual topic. So I'm Jerry Jones. I think probably most of you know me in some capacity or another. I want to start by saying I absolutely understand safety concerns of our police force enforcing the laws that exist today when it comes to dangerous behavior and reckless driving and illegal vehicles. I think it's really important to take maybe a step back because I'm hearing some emotion in some of the tone tonight. Our fine city attorney likes to say often that reasonable minds can differ, right? So I want to be real clear that I have a very different opinion than I think I'm hearing from some of you folks this evening. That doesn't mean that I think you're wrong strictly or that I think this is about a yes or a no. It's me saying I think that there are better ways to interpret a lot of this. So we see a lot of code in the Planning Commission. I sit on the Planning Commission. I'm speaking for myself this evening. We see lots and lots of code that comes from the state that we then as a city have to adapt to, either to adopt either our own version or reject. And one thing I'll tell you is that when things are fluid, like we're seeing with e-bikes, in this nascent, fledgling demand, terminology changes. So first and foremost, when I look at the ordinance as we are accepting it, we've made the choice somewhere to reference and include that entire vehicle code. That vehicle code that we're putting into our ordinance is all changing at the state level right now. We're going to come back and have to talk about this again. So I question whether or not this is the right approach from that perspective. But I also want to question and encourage all of you to actually lead. Adopting the thing that everybody else around the county is doing isn't leadership. And I would really, really deeply encourage everybody to remember the term or that phrase, lies, damn lies, and statistics. Because it's really easy to see big numbers in percentage changes when you have a very small fledgling market. So I want to give you a couple of takeaways from the study, actually, that Councilmember Dillard cited. Same exact one. Their takeaways were that, yes, there were larger traumas with e-bikes. They also found that patients in e-bike accidents were likely to be older.
30 seconds.
12 versus 10 years old. They also noticed that e-bike accidents were more likely to, pedaling bicyclists were more likely to suffer a severe brain injury. 3 times more likely. People riding pedaled bicycles are 4 times more likely to not be wearing a helmet. I say all of this because the data is misleading. We can lead as a city. We can
Thank
do
you for your
many
comment.
discussions with our police force to enforce the laws that exist today. Don't kill a fledgling industry, please.
Thank you for your comment. Joseph Cryer, followed by Andrea Cryer. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good evening. I'm a parent, as you can see, but I'm also a professional in public works and in traffic safety and in transportation. I really appreciate that the city creates a lot of thoughtful policy, but tonight I think we really need to slow down. This is not an emergency. We can take a breath, because what I see is that this is being led by confusion and fear, and that leads to bad policy. What this is it's a blanket ban. Mr. Mayor, when we were here a month ago, you clarified, no, Mr. Cryer, this is only going to target the bad kids, the really bad actors. But you know what? That same week, our school sent out a notice that, hey, the city's banning e-bikes for kids. Kids are no longer allowed to ride their e-bikes to school. So this is affecting everybody. So that really was not as promised. So I just wanted to let you know that, because it's really being implemented differently than I think you had intended there. It's also a ban based on age, not behavior. This is a ban on low-speed regulated bikes. E-bikes are classified as bicycles under California state law, especially these ones for smaller kids. They have smaller motors. They have smaller batteries. Oftentimes, it's just the mechanics of them. They can't really get that fast. I roll down La Mesa Boulevard in the Village. I don't pedal at all, and I'll get 15 miles per hour just on that slight decline that we have there. So, you don't even have to move your body. You don't even need to have a motor to move that quickly. So what this isn't, it's not a ban on e-motos, mopeds, and it doesn't do anything about reckless behavior. It doesn't do anything about helmets. It's not backed by data. The city submitted some data. I looked at that data, and none of the collisions involved young children. Most of them are actually cars hitting the children. So the city's data that they used to justify this actually said that the greatest danger is cars against people. A Mineta Transportation Institute study said that pedal bikes are actually associated with 9 times as many injuries than with e-bikes, and 60 times as many injuries coming from cars. Are we looking for the right thing here? This is not safer streets. Also, we heard this compared to guns, drugs, cars, planes, alcohol, tobacco. Get real. Don't get kids off bikes. This does not address the real problems. So who loses? Families and kids who follow rules? Vision Zero, the climate action plan, our family-friendly designation as a city. And a kid who can't ride a bike, or who can't get on their bike, is a kid who's in a car. And guess what? We have a lot more development coming to the city, which means a lot more congestion, a lot more cars. We're already ranked as the top 10 worst air quality in the country. So we're going to have a lot more congestion if we take away this mobility option for people. So you know what you should do is reject this ban, slow down, take a breath. Let's enforce the laws that we already have on the books. Let's build safer streets. Let's work with the community. Let's reach out to the community committees on mobility, the commission, the Mobility Commission, the Sustainability Commission, the Youth Commission. Let's talk to them. Let's slow down. Let's do something right that the community wants, and let's support cycling. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea Cryer, followed by Derek Knight. Welcome.
Hello. I'm here as a parent of 4 young kids. The issue on our streets isn't children on class 1 or 2 pedal assist bikes. Kids are not the ones doing wheelies without helmets in the intersections. It's teenagers on e-motos and dirt bikes, which are already not allowed for riders under 16. Look at their feet. Are their pedals spinning on the wheels? If not, that's already illegal for kids under 16 to ride. California law sets clear rules. Everyone under 18 must wear a helmet, signal while turning, ride with the flow of traffic, and use bike lanes when available. The scary behaviors like wrong way riding, stunt riding, sidewalk speeding, illegal e-motos, they're already enforceable. This proposed law doesn't address the issues and punishes the wrong population. The local data I've seen shows no collisions involving e-bikes for kids under 12 in La Mesa. I understand the potential for someone young to get hurt or worse on our roads, but this does feel like a knee-jerk reaction that would deprive parents of their right to legally purchase an e-bike for their kids. My family has a plan. As my children get a little older, we'll ride Class 1 e-bikes to school together. We live on steep hills, and there are no bike lanes on the routes to our elementary and middle schools. Pedal assist is what makes a safe, steady ride possible. This law would criminalize my kids riding to school with me beside them. It lacks nuance and ignores the laws and distinctions between classes of bikes already in place. We are good parents. We want our kids outside getting exercise, building autonomy and confidence, and reducing our carbon footprint with supervision, helmets, and respect for the rules. Here's what you can do to support my family and others like us. Vote no on the ban. Enforce the laws already on the books. Engage the community through school-based safety workshops. And lastly, make our roads safer. We need safe streets so walking and biking are the best options, particularly to school and our Friday Farmers Market. And people, especially kids, they want to ride e-bikes. Build the infrastructure so they can ride safely through our town and don't need to ride in the middle of busy roads. Let's make La Mesa the safest city for kids to ride their e-bikes
30
instead
seconds.
of just taking them away. Fix behavior with enforcement and education, and not react with a blanket ban. Thank you.
Thank you. Derek Knight, followed by Cassie Knight. Welcome.
All right. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I want to be abundantly clear from the start. I want a lot of the same things that both sides want. I want the laws that are already on the books to be enforced. I want the wheelies to stop, the ride-outs to stop. I want the craziness to stop just as much as you. I want the police to have to enforce this, to be enabled to actually do it. I want consequences for the behavior. La Mesa is not a place for these ride-outs or these electric motorcycles ripping around the wrong way, running stop signs. It's not safe. And I'm at my wit's end as well, to be honest. But the ordinance does not properly address the issues that we have or enable the officers to effectively enforce it. We shouldn't pass a ban on the only group that actually follows the law. 12-year-olds and under are not riding wheelies on electric motorcycles. They're simply not. And most aren't even riding without their parents. If we have to change anything, why can't we just add that amendment? This specific legislation will do nothing but curb the problems we're trying to solve. The only thing it does is ban kids under 12. The older kids, the ones doing the ride-outs, terrorizing the neighborhoods, riding recklessly, they'll be doing exactly that. This bill doesn't address the problem. It only creates more problems that we don't have now. I'd like to address the actual issue. The issue is the older teenagers riding Class 3 electric dirt bikes. These are not bicycles. And under the ordinance, we're asking our police to profile children based on age. Instead, we should be enforcing reckless driving laws that we already have on unlicensed electric motorcycles being recklessly driven by underage citizens. And for some reason, our existing laws aren't being enforced. This isn't a critique of LMPD by any way. This is a question for the council and the chief as well. What does the chief need to make this enforcement happen that we have? What's the roadblocks addressing the behavior that's already illegal? If we answer that question first, we can get rid of the very thing that brought us here tonight. Let's see, whether 10, 11, or 12 is too young is a matter of opinion, and honestly, it's overreach. The The opposing council members continue over and over to conflate these classes of bikes. At this point, it's either willful ignorance or it's deliberately ignoring the facts to prove a point. It's obvious you haven't looked into the classes of separation or how these bikes actually work. 89% of these kids are riding electric bicycles, not electric motorcycles. It's been a dozen of maybe the same kids that keep doing this over and over downtown. I mean, these bikes are like $3,000. You can't tell me 200 kids in La Mesa have a
30 seconds.
$3,500 motorcycle. Let's see here. I just ask that the council members push this down, send it back to a subcommittee, and let's make some regulations that actually work, that address the issues of the reckless driving and target more of the demographic that's doing it, and allow me and my family to ride our bikes to the farmer's market. That's all I want. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Cassie Knight, followed by Ed Kinnaman. Welcome.
Good evening, council members. I spoke at the last meeting, and my message tonight is going to be largely similar. My name is Cassie Knight. I'm a lifelong La Mesa resident, a parent, and someone who fully supports improving e-bike safety in our community. But respectfully, I do not believe that this ordinance gets us there. I think everyone in this room shares the same goal. We all want our children, no matter their age, to be as safe and protected as possible. My disagreement with implementing this ordinance is not about the goal, it's about whether it will actually achieve the goal. Because right now, it arbitrarily restricts an entire group, including their families. It does nothing to address reckless operation, regardless of age. And it creates challenges for our police officers that will result in unfair and inconsistent enforcement. Children don't carry identification, so this puts our officers in the position of being selective or subjective. In my email exchanges with city council members a few weeks ago, I was told that we must adopt this exactly as written or take no action at all. But AB 2234 is permissive, not prescriptive. Oceanside and Encinitas have proved that cities can take a different approach, one that targets behavior, not just age. Earlier this year, their councils unanimously rejected an age ban relative to the data they collected and instead passed a reckless operation ordinance that targets the actual dangerous behavior regardless of age. And La Mesa has that same opportunity. A responsible 10-year-old riding slowly with a helmet and parental supervision is not the same safety concern as a reckless rider weaving through traffic at high speed. But under this ordinance, the first child is banned while the second may still go unchecked unless an officer directly witnesses dangerous behavior. That is not targeted policy, that is broad and arbitrary restriction. And my own daughter is an example of this. We live right here on Normal Avenue. We purchased our e-bikes as a family last year to much more easily navigate the hills and lack of parking in La Mesa. Before riding her e-bike, we required that my daughter complete a safety course. Her bike is electronically limited to 6 miles per hour. It cannot go any faster. She wears a helmet, she rides with us as a family, but it's a Class 1 bike, and she's under the age of 12. So under this ordinance, she would no longer be allowed to ride with us, not because she is unsafe, but simply because of her age. My hope is that we can pivot from prohibition to competency. I would argue that La Mesa should lead in safety education rather than outright exclusion, because if the goal is safety, why aren't we helping to educate our children with what safety looks like? There are better tools available to us, and I hope that we can all lock arms to figure out what that means for our community.
30 seconds.
Because ultimately, good policy should be enforceable, effective, and narrowly tailored to the problem it's trying to solve. Tonight, I am not asking you to abandon the goal of safety. I am asking that you pursue it with all of us in a way that is more targeted and more effective for the community that we all live in and serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Ed Kinnaman, followed by Brianna Costin. Welcome.
Greetings. I've been a bicycle rider and a motorcycle rider all my life, and I'm very familiar with both of them. When I look at the e-bikes, it's a whole new thing, and we've now got young kids going on something that'll do 20, 25 miles an hour, and we're putting those out on the street, and you've got even a 13, 14-year-old kids I don't think should be out there at that kind of a speed and feel we're safe on the road. If you look at our traffic laws, a bicycle is required to stop at a stop sign. That's a regular bicycle, and also an electric bicycle, and a car and a motorcycle. However, On my street, I can go out there, and there's a stop sign down there, and I'm on one that a lot of schools have kids going down the street. And I will see very, very few electric bikes stopping or even slowing down for the stop sign. Now, it seems like if you want to do something, and you don't have to worry about the age of it either, get the policeman out there and say, hey, we've got 50 people here today that are ran a stop sign. Fine them, put them in jail, whatever you have to do, but you don't enforce it. And I can go out there and very, very few e-bike people slow down even for stop signs. Now, you're a car driver and you see somebody going through the stop sign around you and you're stopped for the stop sign, and you will give the guy in his car a ticket for running a stop sign, but why doesn't the bicycle guy have to get a ticket? Have you ever given a ticket to somebody for running a stop sign on a bicycle or an electric bike? And if you can't enforce that law, what good does it have the laws? And when these kids start driving, if they've been, ever since they were 12 or 13 years old, have been going through stop signs and not being picked up or anything for it, are they going to at that point and say, why should I have to stop at stop signs anymore? We've got laws that you can do this, use the doggone things. Also, you can get kids now, you're going to say a 10 or 11, 12-year-old kid is going to take and be able, now he can go 20 miles an hour. He can drive downtown, he can go anywhere in the county. And the folks don't know where he is. And as far as keeping bikes from being modified, you'd be surprised how many 14, 15-year-old kids will have their friends that can modify that bike so it'll do the 30 miles an hour. So get the age down there to where 14. Also, if they are in an accident, you should have some insurance on the thing.
Thank you. Brianna Costin, followed by Dominic Province. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Brianna Costin, and I serve as a trustee to the La Mesa Spring Valley School Board, and I'm also the vice chair of the La Mesa Community Police Oversight Board. I'm here tonight to urge the council to vote in favor of the e-bike safety pilot program. I agree with some of the folks that have spoken today that there are flaws in the ordinance as written, but as you all have already mentioned, the state law narrowly limits what we as a city can do in regards to an ordinance like this. This ordinance has been carefully crafted to stay within the guardrails set by the state. Any changes risk moving outside of what the state pilot program allows. One thing to note also is the state law and the proposed ordinance expire in 2028 or 2029, and state law is likely going to change before then. This is a pilot program. That's exactly what a pilot program is supposed to do. It's a limited amount of time, and it will help the state determine the direction to go in. As a school district, our primary obligation is to keep students and staff safe inside and out of the classroom, and that's what I believe is at the heart of this ordinance. Part of the ordinance would include an education component, which is a critical element to it. We've heard concerns that this ordinance is infringing on parental rights or misidentifies a problem, but in my opinion, this ordinance is about community safety, not second-guessing families. Education and good intentions alone cannot fully address the risks when a mistake at 20 miles an hour can be catastrophic. Children can still ride traditional bikes freely throughout La Mesa, and this ordinance preserves that access. It simply draws a reasonable line around a vehicle that operates more like a motor vehicle than a bicycle. I'm not going to regurgitate the same statistics from the Rady Children study that we've already heard, but this ordinance would allow us to act before tragedy strikes. E-bikes are prohibited on our campuses per a board policy, so this ordinance would join neighboring cities in bridging the gap between our school rules and protecting students out in the broader community. Ultimately, this is about child safety. I urge the council to vote yes, and I hope that as additional e-bike legislation moves through the state legislature, it will address some of the broader concerns we've heard today from our families and our other local jurisdictions have raised. Thank you.
Thank you. Dominic Province. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, and city staff.
My name is Dominic Province, President of La Mesa Firefighters, Local 4759. I rise this evening in strong support of the proposed e-bike safety ordinance. As firefighter paramedics, our members see the potential for injuries that can occur when e-bikes are operated by young riders who may not yet have the experience or the judgment necessary to handle these bikes safely. This ordinance is not about banning e-bikes and is not about taking the rights away from parents. It's about protecting our children, the people in our community, by creating reasonable safety measures that help prevent serious injuries before they happen. E-bikes are a great tool for recreation, transportation, but the reality is that some of these bikes can travel at speeds that create significant risks, especially for our young ones. We believe this ordinance strikes a balance and common sense approach to focusing on safety, education, age-appropriate restrictions while allowing for responsible use within our community. On a personal note, I have an 11-year-old. Some of you, I believe, know that. My wife and I have worked very hard to instill good values, responsibility, and decision-making in him to the best of our ability. But at the end of the day, he's still an 11-year-old. He is still learning, he is still growing, and he is still, like all children, going to make mistakes because he simply does not yet have the life experience to fall back on. He is going to junior high next year, this fall, sorry. He's going to junior high this fall and going to be riding his pedal mountain bike to school, not an e-bike. And even with that, my wife and I still have reservations at time, hoping that he arrives safely to and from school each day. As someone who has worked in this profession for more than 2 decades, I have seen the devastation that motor vehicle collisions can do to a human body. I have held deceased children in my arms after these incidents, and I am still haunted by the screams of parents learning that their children will not come home. Most people, thankfully, will never have that experience and will not experience that reality firsthand. I do not have that luxury. I have seen it too many times throughout my career. This may not be a perfect ordinance, as
30
some of us
seconds.
have talked about this evening, but the intent is clear. At the end of the day, it is about injury prevention and protecting the well-being of our children, our families, and the public here in La Mesa. Our union's executive board voted unanimously to support the ordinance because we believe it is the right thing to do for the safety of our community. We respectfully ask for your support tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment. You asked
She's not here.
on TV. I suppose yes. No. City attorney?
Or the city attorney or city.
Can I ask the question through the chair, through the mayor?
Okay. The question is, repeatedly tonight, people were talking about the law, the reckless riding's not being enforced. I also know from the chief directly that we've only given 3 citations going back historically. Do we have to do some sort of an agenda item or some sort of council motion or action item to make the LMPD enforce reckless riding laws? Or is it something that they can just do?
Well, I'm not going to speak for the lieutenant, but maybe you can give me a thumbs up. They can do it at any time they see anybody violating vehicle code. There you go. They can do that. I think what's happening, and I'm not going to speak for them, when I have talked to the chief about it, like anything else, when there's a problem in the community and you've brought things up and everyone has said, hey, can you go take a look at this? I think that's what is happening now, and that's happening more and more. Junior High Drive, obviously, and I know that road very well. In difference to what everyone else is saying, because I spent 14 years there, it's not just 15. I know we're targeting 15 and 16-year-olds and 14-year-olds. Children at La Mesa Dale, nothing against La Mesa Dale. I know the principal there very well, but kids as young as 9 years old and 3rd graders are out on their e-bikes too, and you're right, we need better enforcement. So the answer is yes, they can enforce it any time, and I think that if, you know, we can't tell the chief what to do, but I think that we have eyes, we see things too. And I've just talked through a message to the chief about some things that are happening at the farmer's market, some dangerous activity. And so I've asked the chief maybe if we could get some enforcement there. So I think we can ask humbly, you know, we can't direct the chief, even the city manager can't through state law. The chief runs the police department, but I think we can ask the chief, especially when we see things. And let me just finish really quick. I'm going to change direction. Did you have anything else on that? Okay, so I just want to change direction. I think there's a rub, and I understand that because there's parents here that saying they've responsibly limited their bikes to 6 miles an hour. My question would be, well, how do the police know that when they see a 9-year-old? Because I drive a golf cart. It's called a LST, a limited speed transportation. It's only supposed to go up to 25 miles an hour. Your golf cart legally with a California license, I'm sure yours only does that. But you need to be 16 to drive it. And so I've seen bikes go past me. And you're right. I think most of the communication I've received has all been for this, to enforce it. But people have said, principals, PTA presidents, all the people that have come to me to talk about this, they want the limit to be at 16, not 12. They want it to be like a driver's license. Any motorized vehicle should be a driver's license. And again, how do you decide? How do you discern and say, okay, here's a responsible parent and their child's going at 5 miles an hour and someone else is going 25 miles. And we've all seen it, right? And you don't need to modify it. You can buy a bike. And I know that my e-bike doesn't go that way because I'm pulling more gravity, right? But if I only weighed what a 10-year-old weighs, I'm sure I would go a lot faster. So I don't know what all that means, what I just said. I'm sorry I got off topic, but I guess what my point is it's not a perfect ordinance, but I don't think through the state law that we could increase the age number to 16. Is that correct, City Attorney?
It's been asked and answered.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. We can't lower it or raise it.
That's correct.
August. Okay, thank you. Any other comments? All right, yes.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Casares.
So, here's where I'm at with things, and then I have a proposal. Thank you again to everyone who has come tonight. Thank you to everyone who has come for all of the meetings or a couple of them. Ultimately, I have had a lot of conversations, and I know we all have, about this. And what I said at the beginning was that I am not an expert on this, and this is not like a passion project. And it doesn't need to be for me to have an opinion on it. The opinion that I have formed is informed by healthcare professionals, school representatives, not just the one here tonight, but our elementary schools, and others that I've spoken to, and our firefighters and public safety. I do not think it's a perfect ordinance. There are lots of things that I would change if we had the ability to change them. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to be supportive, and I know I have kind of gone back and forth on this, but that's because I've been trying my best to listen and to learn and not take a hard stance on something that I feel ill-equipped to take a hard stance on. But ultimately, through all the conversations that I've been having, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it when it comes to something about public safety. However, I think that we need to really put our money where our mouth is when it comes to bicycle safety, whether that's e-bikes, traditional bikes, etc. That is something that I feel very passionately about. And so I would like to make a motion to approve this ordinance. And I know the city attorney is ready to tell me if it's not possible for me to do this.
I want to ask a question to you. Okay, keep going. I do want to ask a question of the city attorney. Can I ask it before you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it possible, since this is a pilot program, that the city council could adopt this in a pilot situation and put a sunset on it to be revisited?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to,
Excellent.
okay.
That is the first thing on my list, is to
Oh,
revisit the pilot program as state law changes. So I believe if we're going to put a time limit on it, 1 year makes the most sense. I'm open to that. I would like to request, we cannot direct, but request that our police chief create an increased enforcement plan for bicycles, specifically everyone who is riding under the age of 18 without a helmet on traditional bikes and e-bikes, and just strategies to increase enforcement around our reckless driving laws. I would like the city to partner with the Bicycle Coalition or some other group to provide monthly e-bike road safety courses while this pilot is in effect. And I would like to direct city staff to create a plan to install bike lanes within a half mile of all schools in La Mesa, to be presented to council by or before the November 10th council meeting, which is 6 months from now. And finally, I would like for us to explore options to digitally enforce speed limits and prevent riding on sidewalks. I'm not sure if that is at all a possibility, but I know within the city of San Diego, for example, with scooters, like e-scooters, they were able to make them literally stop in their tracks on sidewalks and enforce the speed limits on them. I don't know that that's possible because they're not city bikes, so we don't own those bikes, but I would like to explore it. So I know I just did a long list, but in order for me to support this, I want us to put our money where our mouth is and really increase safety for riders.
I have a question, if I could, Mr. Mayor.
yes.
In your motion, just for clarification purposes, you're not talking about a sunset provision. You're talking about revisiting the ordinance, which means having staff come back and report on its success or failure. Is correct?
That is correct, and then we can reconsider it if needed.
I'll second that. Under discussion. First of all, let me just ask if that's something staff can do.
We can do much of it, but some of it I can't answer that tonight.
Okay, all right, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. Okay,
We'll do what we can.
copy that.
So well, my question is that if we proceed, because I want the ordinance to go forward tonight, and that would be my request. But and I love what Lauren has, Vice Mayor has suggested. So, but I'm concerned that some of these things need to be revisited, or at least they need to be not revisited, but they need to be confirmed. So, well, my question is, should we then go forward with the ordinance tonight, and then come back at to the next meeting, and this could be an addition or addendum to it?
If I understand it, what you're saying correctly, I don't think you have to do that. I think the city manager provided a good resolve.
Okay.
He said that he would do what, he can possibly do. I think it's a good answer.
And that is, I want to clarify that is my intention, is to pass the ordinance and then also explore all of the options that I presented tonight.
And I'd like to read it before we act on
Is
it.
there any other comment? Okay.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of La Mesa adding Chapter 12.38 to the La Mesa Municipal Code to establish the La Mesa Electric Bicycle Safety Pilot Program pursuant to California Vehicle Code Sections 21214.7, 312.5, and 22651.08.
Okay, we have a motion on.
A motion, a second, is that correct?
Yes. It's for the entire motion,
That's correct.
as prescribed, as laid out by Vice Mayor Casares.
You may may place your votes. Motion carries with Councilmember Dillard, Councilmember Suzuki, Vice Mayor Cazares, and Mayor Apastathis voting yes, and Councilmember Lothian voting no.
Thank you. Council committee reports, 3 minutes. Oh, anyways, I'm sorry. I'm just reading what it says. Councilmember Dillard, sorry, reading. Councilmember Lothian, Councilmember Suzuki, Councilmember Vice Mayor Casares.
Nothing.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 reports. Okay. City attorney remarks? Oh, sorry, you do. Yes, you do. Sorry. Totally forgot. Thank
No
you.
worries. I traveled up with some of our police officers last Sunday into Monday from San Diego to Sacramento and back for the statewide Peace Officers Memorial. So I wanted to note that publicly.
Thank you. City attorney remarks? We're adjourned.